Hi, come on in.
And join in. It's the Very Merry Life. Hi, I'm Mary Hendricks, and you might know me as that relatable AF Mama over on Instagram who hopefully feels like an old friend at this point. And if not, it won't be long till it feels that way as we get raw, unfiltered, and very unapologetic in all things motherhood, marriage, sex, and more. From moments worth savoring to moments worth surviving, get ready to leave feeling seen and supported. You have a friend here now, so hey, take a seat. What's going on?
I think this is going to make for a good intro to the podcast episode.
Hello, I am Katie, and I'm high on Flexerol right now. Don't judge me.
That's all right. And this tomorrow's episode, because we talked about edibles in that one podcast episode that didn't process, so I talk about it in tomorrow's. So can't wait for people to hear about that.
I love it. I love it. Bring on the edibles talk.
Yeah,
so many people. Like, and it should just be normalized. Honestly, like one of my best friends. Well, we could talk about it more on the pod.
Yeah. No, well, we can talk about it now. I mean, it's fine. We can record. But no, I always think about it because I hated pot when I was in high school. I ate one already. So I have one in my system. I don't know if you would be able to tell if I hadn't told you that. I act fairly normal. I think if anything, sometimes I get spacey where I'll forget what I was saying. But otherwise, I'm okay. But I hate like the smell of it. Our next door neighbor, he is like a degenerate of a human being. And he stands out on his deck all day and smokes it. So we get wafts of like pot coming into our kitchen window, which pisses me off.
And it's such an awful smell. Like, if you're not, it's just like cigarettes. Like if you're not smoking, I mean, I never really smoke cigarettes, but I can imagine that the smell is gross. And then if you're not smoking.
Yeah, although I prefer to cigarette smoke, so at least if I smell it, I'm like, okay, well, it's better than cigarettes. I'd probably be still annoyed if he was smoking cigarette. Well, he does smoke cigarettes on his back deck, but for some reason that doesn't waft in as much. But like, I think of the stigma of people like that, where you think of like lazy degenerates.
Yeah, like who too lazy to do things.
Yeah, and that's what I thought, and that's why, like, for me, that's what high school pot was. Like pot in high school, you would smoke, and then you'd not know where you were.
Sit on the couch sink into the friggin' couch.
Yeah. And that's what I thought. So I was on the first time I took these, and it was a different brand, was after I had Spencer. I think I was a year postpartum with Spencer. I went on a girls trip up to Rhode Island, and up there it's legal. So my girlfriend was like, "Ray, we're going to go to the dispensary. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "I'll go with you. I don't want anything." I was like, I did not like it. I never liked that feeling. I'm good. And so they bought stuff. We went back to the apartment for the night, and they're like, "Do you want to try some?" And I was like, "What's going to happen to me?" I was like, "What's going to happen?" They're like, "Just try like a bite." And they only got 5 milligram gummies. So like, try like a bite. I probably got like a 2.5 milligrams, and I felt like I had 2 glasses of wine.
Yeah. And
I was like, "Oh, I really like this."
Yeah. Without the calories.
So that's really all I mean, even now when I take an edible, I have a 10 milligram that I will split into 4 and just take a little bit because I don't want anything more than that. And it's great at night because I take it and then I can just go to sleep.
You chill. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like anxiety is when anxiety hits me at night. That's when I lay in bed and then I
think about everything that has to be done.
Everything that has to be done. Everything I did that day, how much I fucked up that day. Or like the spiral
all the time
thoughts. Yeah. Or the spiral thoughts of like what could happen in the future. So
those intrusive thoughts get to us.
Yeah. But anyway, how are you? What's going on?
Well, like I said, I'm high on a Flexerol right now because, I think a combination of stress and then picking up a 26-pound little babe all day has like my back is fucking broken right now. And I'm like, is this what it's like to get old? Like what the hell? What the hell? No, I'm not okay with it.
What is going on with Declan? Mango sap? What the hell is that?
That's what the dermatologist said. But I talked to his like actual pediatrician who started following me. And when I was like in the need for a new pediatrician, she's like, I'm not trying to be weird, but I'm accepting new patients. Anyway, I trust her. She's like, I don't think that's mango sap. Like an allergy. Like, I don't know. We'll see. So we'll see. He hasn't touched a mango in like 2 weeks. So I'm not really sure. So unless he's lying to me.
Is it still just as bad?
Oh yeah. It's like welts. It's like these big welts and they're really itchy.
Oh, weird.
So like I've been like itching them over the shirt for him. And he's like, that feels so good.
Well, and for everyone listening, if you haven't been catching up on Katie's stories, first of all, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Go follow her.
What the fuck is right? Go follow me. What the
fuck? But her son Declan, her son Declan has like rash all over him. And I think what the doctor originally said could be scabies.
Originally, I was like, well, he was like, Mom, what is this? And I could hear him itching in the middle of the night. And I was like, what the fuck? So I put a hydrocortisone cream on it. Next day, I'm like, all right, we got to go to the doctor. This looks bad. It looks fucking gnarly. And then bring him. And the doctor's like, I don't know. It could be something he touched. It could be something XYZ. It could be scabies. And that's what I was like, are we in the 1400s? Like, what, scabies? Isn't that crabs? Like, what the fuck is that? So anyway, she's like, here's some cream just in case it is. Of course, I'm what do you call a soggy mom?
Yeah.
So like, I'm not like, I don't like medicine. I don't like giving my kids medicine unless I have to. I don't personally like to take medicine.
Yeah.
Right now I'm high as fuck on a Flexerol. Thank you. But, there's this cream and I looked up the cream. Of course, it's like extremely toxic. So I was like, I don't want to put this all over my kid if I don't have to.
Yeah.
So I waited and then it's been like 5 days. Actually, it's been a full week that he's had it.
Yeah. So soggy mom is like, as Katie said, I the same way. I don't like taking anything at all, medicine wise.
Yeah.
But yet I go get Botox and lip filler and drink loads of Diet Coke.
Yeah.
So
exactly. I want to be the soggiest of soggy.
Yeah. Hey, it's all right. It's crunchy, watered down.
Yeah, exactly.
We're realistic.
Right? Like, and I'm not like, I drank a Diet Coke the other day. Like I never really drink it because I was addicted to it in college and stuff. Like I was like literally hooked. There's something in it. It's like crack.
Oh, well, that's my life. I am bad. Yeah.
It's, if there is Diet Coke in this house, guaranteed I'm fucking guzzling it all. Like no one's getting a chance. But I posted about it the other day.
Yeah, I'll buy a case of like, what is it, a 12-pack of cans. I will probably go through about 4 if I have it in my house in a day. And Kev will just come home and be like, Mary, Jesus.
Like ice cold. I don't even put it in a goddamn cup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. Keith's like, how? It's so bad. I mean, I could drink it right out of the can. Like, I don't even give a shit. And when I'm hungover, that's my hangover cure.
Well, and Cassie and Spencer like the taste of it. I was a parent that was like, my kids will never drink soda. And I used to say that all the time. And then they had a sip and I don't know where they had a sip and now they love it. So I try not buy it.
Anytime we go out.
Yeah. Yeah. When they go out, I can't control that, but I'm trying to not bring it into my house because if I do, then I will go through it, but also the kids want in. And I'm like, no, we need to.
Oh yeah, Declan will be like, I want some. I'm like, oh, here's your poison drink, son. Have fun with this.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, that's how I am. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Oh no.
It's
oh my God, the poison. Anyway, so
don't judge us, everyone, for giving our kids poison drinks.
Don't you dare fucking judge us. God damn it. Actually, I'm looking to get Botox. You see this movement? You guys can't see, but my forehead's moving, Mary. And you know what?
Mine does a little bit. I just got it up a little done 2 weeks ago. Right there, but it's not bad. I mean, it doesn't, I would have to like adamantly try and then, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you literally are beautiful. It's insane.
Thank you. I got it in, I got it in here also.
Yeah. You can't see, but she's pointing to her
pulling at my
jawline.
neck. Yeah. Right by my jawline because I'm starting to get jowls. Driving me nuts.
Oh,
like right here.
I have them. I'm like, what? Yeah. See, I'm a few years older than you. I'm almost 39. So it's like, what's going on with my face? So of course I messaged my, I call her my dealer, my Botox dealer. And she's like, come on in. Like, I'm going to hook you up. Chat. So I want a full face Botox. Yeah.
So like in hopes of possibly like paralyzing the muscle that pulls this down. Yes. So we did that to see. I don't really notice a big difference, but it was worth a shot because it was only like 6 units. So it was not anything crazy. And then we did my right in here here.
For TMJ?
On one side, but TMJ, same. But not to a point where it's like gives me pain in my jaw. My ear hurts because of TMJ. So I'll like wake up with like a Charlie horse in my ear and I'll have to like release it and push on my ear until it like releases it. It's the worst thing ever, but it's TMJ.
There's something called the Eustachian tube, which is like in the lower, like really, really deep. And that's usually, I think I have the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all the fucking stress. We just grind at night.
Grind and clench our teeth constantly. Yeah. No, seriously. That's what they do, these kids. But I don't know.
Actually, if you are listening right now, unclench your motherfucking jaw, please.
And your butthole.
And have you shaved your big toe lately? Go do that too.
Let's do a big check-in. Check in on all those things. Have a glass of water. Especially if this is morning. Have you had food yet? Have you had water? And I recently recorded an episode with a girl that does like period, like she works with women on their periods.
Yeah.
And she made me promise that I would eat food before having any coffee in the morning.
I've been doing this, Mary, and it actually deters me. I know. Yeah, it's okay. It deters me from drinking coffee though. Like I'm not usually I usually have my coffee first thing in the morning, and everyone's like, yeah, but just have 32 ounces of water first. It's like, that is not the first thing I'm trying to get in the morning with lemon water. Although the people that do it, good for you. I mean, good for fucking you.
No. Oh, well, I do like the athletic greens in the morning. I'll do that before my coffee, but I don't know. Today was one of those days where I just I looked up at 3:00 and I can tell when I haven't had any water because I get a headache and I almost kind of get dizzy. And I was like, what have I had today? And I only had 2 cups of coffee for
we need
hydration.
To fuel our body.
What is wrong? Yeah. I know. I was like,
why is drinking water so fucking hard? I even got my Stanley cup. You know where I drink the most water is at work. Mm-hmm. Because everyone else is drinking. So we'll be like, all right, community drink right now. And everyone just guzzles half their water. It's actually really good.
Yeah.
But at home, it's just, I feel like I'm just barely getting by
the bathroom.
In general.
Yeah, I don't want to be going to the bathroom constantly because of the kids. So I'm like, no. And then I'm always on my feet. And every time I do pour anything, they take it from me. So I'm like,
yeah,
this is stupid.
But same with right food. Now is going, voila.
Yeah.
Voila. And I'm like, oh, I guess you need my, great. I have goldfish in my goddamn water now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's my life. That is my freaking life. Yeah, no, it's hard. And did you see when I do check-ins on Instagram and someone got really mad at me for checking in? I know. Understand that.
If you're so offended by Mary checking in, come on. I love when you do that because honestly, there are moms out there that forget to eat. I personally am not one of those mothers. I am always eating, but there are literally moms that are, if you're in the season of breastfeeding, if you're listening right now and you're like, yeah, Katie, that's me. I have a newborn, or I have a newborn with toddlers, or you have multiple children. You literally do forget to eat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a thing.
I think that's what, I don't know why she was offended, but she said something like, should I not be eating? Should I be so busy that I'm not? And I was like, I don't know if she got mad because she thought that was the mark of a good mom. But that's the thing I'm constantly always saying is that is the way we've trained our brains, is to think the mark of a good mom is one that is run down and tired and all of
burnt
these
out.
things.
Yeah.
That's not at all. And
it's
that's
not at all.
Quite the opposite of what I'm saying is go eat something because no, you need to eat. There are moms. I personally believe I have ADHD. So I have a very hard time remembering to do anything, honestly. So if I don't have anything to someone to literally come to me and be like, do this right this very second, I won't do it. So I won't say even if it's food. So
in the last few weeks, if you all were watching my stories, my husband has been working nonstop, and I swear to God, I lost 5 pounds in the last week because I haven't eaten. I'm just stressed out. I think that's also probably why my back is all fucked up and broken because stress, man. We carry a lot of our stress in our body, not just in our brain, but in our physical body.
Yeah.
I haven't, I looked at myself in the morning 2 days ago. I hadn't slept in a good sleep in 2 days. I had dark under eyes, and I was like,
oh yeah,
this is from stress.
Yeah.
Cortisol levels are through the roof, Mary.
Well, what did you put up? You put up a study. I saw that. You put up a study where it was 98% of moms live in a more stressful situation than what was the stat that you put up?
It was a reel that I reposted, and it was 98% of moms have a higher cortisol level than people that go and leave the house.
Yeah.
And, our stress levels, being home with kids is stressful. And honestly, the summertime is brutal. Summertime is brutal for parents.
Yeah.
It's it's either keep my kids home, lose my fucking mind, or refinance the house to send my kids to summer camp. Like it's one or the other. I mean, it's because summer camp isn't cheap either. And I have 2. I can't even imagine when all 3 are in summer camp. Like I'm going to go broke.
Do your boys go all day summer camp?
Yes.
Is it one of those?
All day until I could pay for aftercare, but there's one of us is always home. So, it's until 3 PM, but like, what a shit time. Like who's getting out of work at 3 PM?
No, I just had someone on, her name's Paige Turner. She's on TikTok. She's a great follow. I'll send you her account.
Okay. Yeah.
But she was just literally talking about this. She's a working mom. Her and her husband both work for businesses.
Yeah.
I don't know if she works out of the house, but either way, they work. And she has 4 kids and they pay $5,000 a month for childcare for 4 of their kids. And she was talking about this. And then she had said with working parents during the summer, she said, it makes no sense. She said, because with, daycare during the school year, I have 7:00 a.m. drop off, 6 p.m. pickup. Like I can do that. It makes sense. I pay for that. She said, but during the summer, someone created the rules 9 to 3. She said, I can't drop them off any sooner than 9, or I can't pick them up any later than 3 because it would cost me an arm and a leg for just that additional time. And it's just
it's really asinine. I mean, let's get with the program here, people. Like, a lot of working mothers fall into like, you have to pay if you're working outside the house or if you're a single mom, like you really don't have a choice. Like, or unless you have amazing family members that are going to get your kids from school. Like, and there's a lot of people that rely on family, and that's amazing. And I'm jealous. If my parents lived in New York, I mean, if my parents do live in New York, but if they were here, like I would never need a sitter. I would never need anyone. No. But yeah, it's hard. It's so expensive to send your kids to summer camp. And if they want to go away to summer camp, so like I live in an area, it's a lot of Jewish people. So this is like a big Jewish thing. And correct me if I'm wrong, whoever's listening, but like there's these camps and they send their kids to camp for 7 weeks.
Yeah. No, our next door neighbors were Jewish, and I know that was a big thing. And I went to a school with a bunch of Jewish girls and guys that went, and I think where we lived previously was a huge Jewish population. I loved them. Yeah. I love my Jews. Yeah. Everyone here.
Yes, I love my Jews too.
No, seriously, they like adopted me, and I learned so much about their faith. It was fascinating.
It's awesome.
I was a personal trainer for everyone was Jewish. So they'd come in and I was like the odd man out. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to Christmas mass. And they're like, have fun. But, it was a big thing because even come summer, they're all summer camp stuff. So again, if anyone here is listening, if you guys are Jewish, you guys can tell us if that's like, I'll find out. I have Jewish friends. I'll text them. I'll find out what that's about.
It's a traditional thing. Anyway, each one of my friends that have sent their kids to camp, they're like, it's worth all the money. It gets them out of the house. It's so much fun. It's worth the money to pay. I mean, I'm talking thousands of dollars, but I mean, could you imagine 7 weeks without your kids, like all summer? Like, I don't know how I'd handle that. I think I'd miss them. It's just like typical motherhood. Like I would miss them, but I'm so happy they're away,
No, well, yeah, because it's even the other night. So Kev and I are going to London in November. I think I told you.
So I'm so excited. Yeah, you told me. I'm so excited for you.
So I was laying down because I was like, I studied abroad in London, but I got there in January and I was there until May. So I missed like the holidays in London. So it was like, it's November. I was like, let me look it up. So I went on TikTok and searched November in London or London in November, and then all their search results. And I was like, Kev, this is going to be so fun because all the Christmas lights are being put up and they'll be on by the time we get there. And just, that's going to be so pretty. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I was like, I wish Cassidy could come.
Right.
And he was like,
there's certain things.
Yeah. And Kevin's like, Mary. And I'm like, I know. I was just like, not all of them. I don't want all of them. Like I would miss Spencer and Haley, but Cassidy's at an age where she's just so much fun.
It's easier. Yeah. And it's fun. And I can only imagine how much better it's going to get when they all get older. I never want to rush anything. Yeah. I never want to fast forward. Like, especially now they're babies, like we know how fast time comes and goes. And it's so fleeting. I really try not to rush anything, but sometimes I just can't wait to see who they are as adults, or even that, like Cassie's age, like I have a 9-year-old, like he asks really fun questions and he's interested, and like, it's exciting and sad at the same time. But yeah, bringing one child when you have 3 is literally cakewalk.
We'll be back after a quick break. Eye-Opening Moments podcasts
are real-life stories of adversity, encounters, and perspectives. They are moments that can lift your spirits, give you some food for thought, or move you. For the introspective mind that likes to reflect, discover, and find solutions or meaning in a complex life, listen to Eye-Opening Moments podcasts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah. That's I miss the days of having only one child
Right?
sometimes, especially when it comes to running out. I'm like, oh God, I used to think this was a lot. I was like, what's wrong with me? Nowadays, forget it. I went to Target and I was like, we're leaving now. We only got in like 5 minutes previously. And I was like, we're out of here right this very second. Cause I told Cassidy, I was like, hey, we're going in for shoes. That's it. Shoes. And I wanted something for myself. I was like, that's it. And then we're walking. She's like, I want to go buy the bathing suits. So I'm like, no, I want to go buy the books. No, we're going. Yeah. We're walking. Stop picking things up. Let's go.
It's always something like I have to like literally sit them down, look at them square in the fucking face in my truck and be like, we're not getting anything, you little shits. You're spoiled. You play with nothing anyway. They just want to buy stuff. So I've been hoarding their own money, like any birthday, Christmas, they have a little piggy bank. So last weekend we went to Target. We were going to Target and they were like, we want to buy toys. I'm like, you know what? You want to buy toys? Go get your piggy banks. You each can spend $40 on whatever you want. Yep. But I am not spending money on any more toys. And they chose whatever, Pokemon cards, a bunch of BS. But it made them happy. And honestly, I was like, we need to learn a little bit of responsibility when it comes to money.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't
that's
grow
my
on
kids.
trees.
Yeah, no, Cassidy doesn't. Cassidy thinks you buy money. So she's like, we just buy more money. And I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah.
That's not how it works.
If only it was that easy, little babe.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It's that, and we've officially eliminated all ABCs out of our household. For Spencer, they have to go. They're making him demonic. They're awful every time. Mm-hmm. Where like if he gets them, go ahead.
Will you get him evaluated? Maybe he's just really like beyond smart. Like what's his IQ? Like he might be like an idiot savant. No, that's not the right word. He might just be brilliant.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. I think he's a smart little cookie. I'll be curious to see. I'm definitely looking forward to him. I'm not doing anything right now because I want to, when he doesn't have the ABCs around him, he acts like a normal kid. So that's where I get like tripped up on it, where I'm like, I don't know what this is about. I'm kind of hoping he just like,
it's a fixation.
Yeah. I just hope he gets out, like grows away from it. But my mom, because we're going on vacation, my mom was like, I was going to buy ABC beach toys for Spencer. And then I thought about what you said. And she's like, I went and decided no. And I was like, thank you. Cause no, we don't want, I'm done with the ABCs. Like he can discover it in a book if he wants to, but I'm not bringing things for him, especially at the beach where I need his mind to be elsewhere.
Yeah. Having fun, playing.
Yeah. Cause
exactly.
He can't walk away from him. Yeah, he can't walk away from him. So that, and he pushes Haley when they come out. He wants her away from him. He'll push Cassidy over. He doesn't listen. He doesn't go to bed easily if we give him ABCs. Yeah. So they are kaput for now until I can figure out what to do. Because I'm like, I feel bad. I was like, it's an educational thing.
I wonder if anyone listening has had this issue, has experienced the same thing with their child.
Yeah, if you have, please message me on Instagram.
Message Mary. I would like to know too.
Yeah, because I'm so curious as to, and for everyone listening, I'll kind of give you background. So Spencer is he's like a little boy. He's acts like a little boy. He can sort of read. He's really good at phonetics. He's really good at letters, shapes, numbers, colors. He can memorize things really well. He can do the alphabet backwards. You can do it from the middle to the end. Like it's wild what he can do, but he just gets obsessed. And I went to the doctor and the doctor told me that she thinks he's ADHD or high functioning autism, but that was her diagnosis. Okay. And I'm like, I don't know if I believe that to be the case.
Yeah. Maybe he just has OCD. Like I have a sister that had OCD and she'll obsess about things like, and it's just, it's literally a syndrome. Like they can't help it. They can't control that part of the brain that says like, stop.
Yeah.
And
see, and I'm not
I think we all have a little bit of that. And
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not even like, if they all of a sudden, like, let's say he goes to preschool where I'm excited because they'll be able to like look out for anything. If they come to me and be like, Mary, I want to get him evaluated. We think that he might be high functioning autistic, whatever. Cool.
Yep.
Like, let's do that. Let's get him the assistance that he needs. That's no problem. The only fear I hold with that is I am so terrified of the word autism following him around for life. And I know that I have parents here that probably have autistic children.
100%.
I get so scared that like, I feel like there's so much awareness about autism, but there's also such a stigma about autism. And I'm planning on bringing some autistic mamas on to like interview them and just find out and, you know, learn about their lives and stuff and get different perspectives. But
that would be so
useful
and helpful.
Yeah, there's such a stigma around it where I'm like, I'm more afraid just with that attached to him per se.
Yeah, because you don't want him to be labeled, right?
Yeah.
And now it wasn't like autism back when, you know, we didn't hear about autism when we were younger. It was either you only saw or heard of like the severe autistic children. Like I vividly remember like one of my friend's sisters had it, but she would hit.
Yeah.
She would constantly hit. And, you know, as a child, no one talked about it. So I had no idea what was wrong with her.
Yeah.
But now that the spectrum is so broad and, you know, there's so many tools and helpful things that therapies that children have access to compared to at least 20 years ago, you know? So, it's pretty interesting. I think you're doing the right thing. Let him go to preschool. And they're around a bunch of kids all the time. They know children. If they're like, hey, Mary, like it would be worthwhile to do it, I say go for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I would never deny it, especially because I help Cassidy so much with it. So with like early intervention. So I would never, you know, stop because I've seen what early intervention can do with like speech therapy. And I can only imagine what it would do for him. Yeah. And again, Spencer he'd be high functioning. So it would just be making sure that he can like have these social cues and stuff. But and really just
you learn anyway as you grow. I mean,
I think they would just use it.
That's a learning curve too.
Turn it into being his superpower. Like I think we would just be altering his that would be a superpower. I think that's what he needs. Like that's why I'm excited for school. I think he needs guidance because he's obviously really strong at that stuff. We need someone to come and be like, this is how we can apply it that way. But we'll see. I don't know what to expect. I am excited for him to start school though, because today I almost lost my ever-loving mind on that child.
Yeah. Mom rage. I'm just raging. Like there's no gentle part of me right now. I'm just like, we're fucking raging all summer because you kids don't listen to me. And this is what you're going to get. Yep. You want to poke the bear, poke the
Well, Spencer bear. Just screams and he fights back. And I had a pair of shorts and he didn't want to put them on, but we had to leave to Target. And he was being so terrible and screaming. He was like, no, mommy. And then would throw a toy in my direction. Yep. And I was like, oh my God. So I am trying again to regulate myself a lot. I don't want to overreact big.
So hard.
So I had his shorts, piece of fabric, and I just took it and I hit it on the counter. Because I was out of frustration because I was like, I don't want to hit anything else. I don't want to hit him. I don't want to hit anything else. And Cassidy is sitting on the ground. She's like, and I look at her and then afterwards, I'm like going nuts. And then I look at her and I start laughing because she's just like, you're insane. And she's like, why do you do that? And I was like, because I'm frustrated. I said, I'm frustrated. And I said, I don't know what else to do. And she's like, kind of like that time you kicked the window or you kicked and broke the window.
Yeah.
And I was like,
these little shits remember everything. They remember everything. The boys will be like, remember that time you chased me around the house with a wooden spoon? I'm like, did I do that? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, what, did I make contact? Like literally you black out sometimes. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, that's Cassidy.
But like I said, we've said this before, just enough trauma in their lives to make them funny.
Yeah.
That's all. Just a little bit.
I would honestly remember her. I want her to have a healthy dose of memory of moments like this morning to see that, to be like, okay, if the time comes that she becomes mom, she'll be like, oh, my mom totally had a moment like this. So I hope that there's that and not the trauma part where I'm like, oh God, what am I doing to her?
I know.
Like, what am I doing to everyone?
You know,
she has a memory though. Her teachers told me that. They were like, in her final evaluation,
really?
They're like, she has a exceptional memory. Like they told me it's above and beyond the normal range for memory. And I just, on the phone, I was like, I already know. Like,
yeah,
we
she
know.
does. Yeah.
We know.
It's crazy what they remember. Like my older one remembers so much. He'll remember like, oh, I've been here before, like just random places. I'm like, yeah, when you were 2, like, how do you remember this?
Yeah.
But yeah, they remember a lot. They remember a lot. And so now I'm like, okay, because now this is the age, like my kids are getting older. They're going to remember more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, we need to really be more mindful about regulating myself for them. But it's hard because we expect so much from these kids to like, you know, do what we say and do things on time. And they're just learning. It's so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go on and on about this exact topic because it is so difficult. You know, the expectation is do what I say. I'm the authority figure, but we can't possibly, you know, expect them to do all these things. They're not developed. Their brains are not fully developed yet.
No. Well, and I always get frustrated too, because like I follow certain accounts and like some of them will like reframe, they'll like put a scenario and how you shouldn't respond and then how the appropriate response would be, where it's like a scene clip back and forth. And I'm like, I get it.
And I'm always the shouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's how I react.
Same. And I'm like, okay, well, I get
like,
it.
Well, shit.
Yeah. I was like, I get it. I'm in a perfect world. I would love to react the way that you say is more appropriate, but like, I feel like that's a one size fits all scenario. And I'm like,
Totally.
So what happens like this morning when my son is in the corner screaming bloody murder at me, taking toys and throwing them in my direction? And like, yeah, there are certain moments where I can calm myself and be like, okay, let's chill out, man. But then there are other times where I have to get my ass out the door. I have a baby. Or if Spencer hurts Haley. Oh, no.
If the boys are throwing the baby around, like yesterday, we have a little Tykes, like one of those Flintstone little trucks where she can climb in and pretend to drive around. Well, the boys are like, oh, let's throw her around in this while I was folding laundry or doing something. All of a sudden I hear, oh no, bang, crunch, blah, blah, blah. And I hear a blood curdling scream. So I run out. Yep. She slammed her face on the little steering wheel.
Oh God.
And she was bleeding. And I lost my shit on these boys because I don't like, she's so little, like do better, boys. Like, you know how little she is, but yeah. If they touch that baby, it's lights out for them.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's Spencer. And even this tonight, like again, he just lost his shit and he shoved her right in front of Kevin. And Kevin was like, John. And I don't like it. So I'm like, stop. I was like, everyone stop right now. And I was like, hands off, time out, get out. I will take care of it. And then he did it. Spencer doesn't care. And that's where he is.
That's the defiance. Ooh,
oh, but it's hard. You know it because I'm sure you've seen it, but where they don't care and they just kind of like.
They don't. Yeah.
They just do that face.
How do you parent? Actually, whoever's listening, how do you parent? Now, there is something called oppositional defiance disorder. That is an actual disorder. And my kids don't have it. My kids are just assholes. But there's like an actual thing, like where it's just they're always defiant. But how do you parent a child? My
cousin has that. My cousin's daughter, I think, has that. Yeah, where it's like I think it was. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even have. But I just know she was a little bit of a.
You have to parent those children differently. Yeah. I think with I call it a turnaround time. Like my older one, I could probably tell him things 20 times. He still won't do it. And it's not because he's purposely not doing it. It's because he does have ADHD and he like can't help it. Where Declan, my middle one, like today I was like, get off the iPad, please. And he's like, no. And I'm like, I'm going to take it away. He's like, Dad, take it away. I don't care. I'm like,
no.
What do I do then? Cause it's just like, oh man, it's hard. I'm praying that my little Bryn is.
There's certain kids that poke.
He is. He pokes the bear.
Yeah, and I don't know what to do in that scenario. I'm going to find an expert that I can bring on because it literally is. Because it's not, I've had an expert on here that talked about the spicy child. Oh, yeah. And I think that's similar, but I don't think she necessarily hit the point in these like kids that literally stare like Spencer after shoving Haley. And then after this, he went and just sat on the couch with a smirk on his face like this. And then he got up and took a blanket and covered her with the blanket and pushed her down again. And
negative
just
attention.
didn't care. And I was like,
I know.
Yeah, I think it's totally what it is. It's totally third child. And then I get middle child syndrome. I'm like, oh God, what am I doing to him now? I'm like, what have I done? And I try so much like to give him time, but I'm like, I don't have the time to like necessarily give you the solo.
Especially because Kev works, you're with all three of them for the most part. Like it's really hard to get solo time. I know that you had Bree on from, Florida Yoga Mom, and she brought her son to Disney by himself. And I'm like, that must have been so cool for him. Like, I love doing days alone with each kid because it's a bond. They remember those moments. Like, I vividly remember when my dad would be like, hop in, kid, let's go get some gas. And like, I'm like, okay. And he'd take me to get ice cream, but like, just like, and he would get gas, but he would like, be like, oh, you want to get some Carvel, which shout out Carvel, love Carvel. My gosh. But he'd like, you want, and I'm like, okay, like you remember those things. But I was the pleaser. I still am. I'm the middle child. I want to please everyone. I want to make sure everyone's good. I don't like confrontation. I want everyone to be good. Yeah. I'm like, just everyone be nice to each other, please.
Yeah. See, and then I think about it. I'm the middle child too. No. So I'm like, I didn't turn out so bad. So maybe I think it will be okay.
I think it's that negative,
only time
negative
will tell.
attention that he wants. He's still so little, Mary. He's still so little.
Totally. I know. I think that's a thing too, is I constantly am thinking that he's Cassidy's age and that he should know better. And I have to remind myself of that. And that's like something I remember realizing even after like Haley was born, I would do it to Cassidy. Because immediately she got bumped up a tier where she's like now the even bigger sister. And there was moments where I'd hold her to such a high expectation of how her behavior should be. And then I'd be like, she's only 4.
Right.
Like I was like, she's only 4. So I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I think I'm starting to do that to Spencer a little bit where I'm forgetting that like him and Cassidy are so similar that I'm like, I think that he's Cassidy's age. And I'm like, you should know better by now with the certain things you're doing. And then I'm like, wait, no, he's only 3.5. Like he'll be 4.
It's so hard, especially if your child looks older than their age, other people expect more from them too. Like, I feel like Spencer's tall for his age, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like.
He is. Same with Cassidy.
You look at them and they don't look like little babies, but their little brains are still developing. And I mean, we're all still learning. I've been humbled so many times in this motherhood journey. Like, just when I think I'm on top, I'm like, you know what? I'm a kick-ass mom. And then something just throws you right off. And the wind gets knocked out of your sails and you're like, all right, I guess we're going back to square one here. It's wild ride. Speaking of wild rides, has anyone chimed in for Dear Annie?
No, Dear Abby.
Sorry, guys. That's the flex roll talking.
Did you see that I was featured on BuzzFeed?
Oh my God, Mary, I was about to bring this up. Amazing. But that might be one of my favorite reels of yours. I laugh at pretty much all of your reels. I mean, every single one of them are clever, but nothing is truer than that. Like walk into TJ Maxx, gotta poop.
They what was it called? When they emailed me, they originally reached out and I passed it forward to my manager and I was like, hey, let's like pass it. Cause I don't know if there's payment that can come through with that. So I was like, you handle this, and there is none. So they were just like, no, we'll just do a shout out. We'll link everything back to her, whatever. And my manager was like, well, it's good exposure. I'm like, is it really? I was like, is it really though? And she's like, I would do it. And I was like, all right. I was like, fine, go ahead.
Do it. I mean, it is good exposure. It's friggin' BuzzFeed. That's wild.
I just wish it was for motherhood related content. Cause like that doesn't necessarily align with my page. So I haven't noticed anything. Like, I don't want people to come to my page and be like, I am expecting, I don't know what they would expect, but I don't know. I mean, if you're here because of that reel, say hello in my messages. Okay. Funny. Someone said, just wanted to say you're both awesome and so down to earth. Love it and God bless.
We love you too.
Someone said, no advice, just spin off the podcast from just you two weekly. Love you too.
Oh my God, Mary, look at us. We're a fearsome twosome.
How to make mom friends. None of my kids have friends, or none of my friends have kids.
Oh, man. Okay, so we have Mary, who you're more of a homebody type. No?
Yes. Yeah.
Or is that since being a mom?
No, I've always been a homebody, but I enjoy having a good solid friend group.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm not like one that like constantly wants to go out. I never was like Kevin I did, yes. But I was never someone that was like, let's go out all the time. I'm not like that. But
that's how I am. I thrive on like the going out atmosphere. So like
you're an extrovert.
I make friends wherever I go. Yes, extremely. Actually, I wish sometimes I could say no and be like, because the FOMO does hit. But honestly, as life goes on, I'm realizing I don't have to be at every place. And like this past week, I went to a bar on last Friday with two of my friends who are both divorced now. And, you know, I looked nice. I thought I looked pretty. And they're beautiful girls. And yeah, we all got hit on. We all had drinks paid for us. One guy asked for a picture with me. I took the picture. Sorry, Bird. Maybe it's for a spank bank. I don't know. But I was like, you know what? Good job. You still got it, baby. But then at the end of the night, hope that guy's whacking off to me right now. But disgusting. I mean, honestly, he probably zoomed in on my boobs, whoever took the pictures. But it did feel good to get hit on. But then at the end of the night, I'm like, they're like all trying to kind of go home with someone or go home with a number, which they easily get. My friends are literally smoke shows. But I'm like, this is not fun for me because I'm a great win woman. Yeah. But I think this person was asking about how you make mom friends. Honestly, mommy and me groups are great if you have the energy and time to do those. I don't do them. I don't have the time. Plus, it's like what
I honestly want no part of any of that shit.
Right?
That is probably where I struggle. This is why I don't want any part. I don't want Facebook groups. I don't want mommy and me shit. I honestly don't even want I don't want a mom friend that is going to come over with her kids. Like I don't even want necessarily a mom friend who has kids similar ages as me. Because if that's the case, then our kids are going to get together and they're going to play and then we're going to be off in separate directions. We're not even going to be able to talk to one another. Like I've gone through that already where it's like, that's not very fun. No. It's nice because you also are like in the same season of life, but at the same time, you're never going to see one another. I honestly think that this is like my season of life of being like nap trapped and babysitters are hard to come by for 3 little kids. Like I need them to get a little bit older where it's not as much of like, it's not a lot because it is a lot. Yeah. It's a lot for me. It's going to be a lot for someone that doesn't do it regularly. But no, I was going to say for you, it's like same thing. Like you could leave a babysitter, but Declan and Luke go to bed and they're a little bit more independent. They know where things are in the house. Like they know how to do that stuff. Like Cassidy's there kind of, but like Spencer and Haley aren't. So when I leave a babysitter, it's like Fight Club. It's awful.
Like I'm trying to get my 16-year-old babysitter and Bryn like friendly because my babysitter that could put the baby down for naps or down for like sleep, she is off to college. Kenzie, if you ever listen to this, I love you so much. She's going to FSU. But I'm like, okay, I need to train this new sitter because, you know, it's hard. The baby goes to sleep at like 7:30, 8 o'clock some days. And that's late for us to go out to dinner. Like I want to be back by 9, you know? So it is hard because you do have to pay someone for 3 kids. Like, even though sometimes she comes here and the baby is sleeping, she's still minding that baby while we're gone. But it's hard. But if you're looking for mom friends, and if you're really one of those people that like, you're desperate for some mom friends, do go to the Mommy and Me's because there's a lot of women like you that are there for the same reason.
Yeah, preschool is going to introduce you. No, and be forward. Like, be direct about it. Like, I know preschool is kind of where I met a few people. Even Spencer's, not his teacher, the teacher that was in the classroom next to him. If you're listening to this, we're totally going to get together. But she literally handed me her number on the last day of school because she follows me on Instagram, funny enough. But she handed me her number. She's like, if you ever want to hang out. And it felt like dating. And I was like,
absolutely. It does feel like dating, right?
It does. And I was like, absolutely. I was like, we will go get drinks or something. I was like, that works with me. And then I'm like, this is so weird, but it honestly is that direct. And I met another girl who actually follows me on Instagram, and she saw me at like a local carnival that we were at. And she came up, and she's messaged me before, and I knew she was in the area, and she came up and actually, in person and introduced herself when we were talking. And she's like, you're literally the same as, online. I was like, I am. And then I looked at her, I was like, I'm going to be really direct right now. Do you want to hang out?
Yeah.
And she was like, yes. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. That's so weird. But I was like, I just have to cut to the chase at this point, because I'm like, I want mom friends. I don't know how to find them. It's weird. It's a weird.
It is weird, because most of my friends have older kids. Now there's a few of my friends that are all having babies that are about a year younger than Bryn. But honestly, like you said, like I don't want to, if I'm hanging out with you, when we do play dates, you can't get anything, like there's no productive adult conversation. It's usually interruption after interruption. Who's pulling something out of the playroom that needs help, and who's crying, who's not sharing, like those. And although some friendships start that way, but I love a good, like, hey, come over when the kids are asleep. Like I have a really good neighborhood where I can ask girls to come on over, like, and we're all like, all right, after bedtime, we just like chill in our pajamas. Like I freaking love times like that. There's no frills. It's like easy friendships. And honestly, like neighborhood friends are really great, because you can just come and go and be like, all right, I gotta go. There's no, you don't have an allegiance to like stay for a long time or, whatever. But yeah, making friends, nice. Making friends when you're older is hard, because who gives a shit? I don't need any more new friends. But making friends when you have children is so hard.
Ugh. Especially young children, because everyone is so defensive. Everyone's on defense. Yep. Everyone's on the defense. So I felt that, like, I just feel like everyone's on eggshells, and no one wants their kid to be the one that's like pulling the toy out of the other child's hand. And like, then everyone's like trying to feel out how the mom's going to react because of their kid's actions, or vice versa. Like it's it's awful. It's so much, it's like stressful. Tippy toeing. Yeah. I don't like it. That's why I don't even bother. I'm like, I'll just sit at home and pretend like I have friends. That's why I go online.
Or sometimes when people say, do you want to get the kids together? I'm like, yeah, let's meet at this park and an hour and you're out. And like, that's a good way to feel people out too, because you'll know usually within the first few minutes if you really like the mom, because your kid might be best friends with that mom's child, but if you don't like the parent,
that's so hard.
It's a little hard.
Oh yeah, that's
it's hard.
Be a doozy. I know we're gonna get into that next year with Cassidy and Spencer at school.
Oh yeah. Oh yes,
that'll be fun. Well, it's all right. It's gonna be a tough cookie for me. I hope people don't know what I do. Did I tell you that someone introduced themselves at Cassie's kindergarten registration? She's like, I follow you, and I'm like, oh God.
I know. I always get weird. Yeah, when people are like, I follow you, I'm like, I know I'm kind of crazy. They're like, no, we love it. Like, it's great. But yeah, sometimes this is the world we're living in now.
Well, I'm kind of glad that they do, because I literally am 100% what I show in life versus this. It's not like a persona I put on for my camera, but I'm like, oh, you've seen a lot. Like, you know a lot about me. I don't know a lot about you. So this should be
right. That's what the uncomfortable part is. It's like, ooh, I put that's when I'm sometimes like, why do I share so much? I mean, I really do share a lot. There are some things I keep private, obviously, but for the most part, I'm sharing a lot of stuff. Like, and I'm like, wow. Cause then it kind of leaves people open to be like, well, I know so much about you. Like it leaves the door open for their judgment sometimes. That's my one thing about being on social media is like, well, if you're going to post it, you're going to get judged on it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, I get it. But the keyboard warriors, fuck you, keyboard warriors.
Yeah, suck a big fat nut. Like, just get out of here. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up this episode. That way we don't keep you going, because Katie and I are going to be back. Don't worry. We're going to be back with more episodes, but we're here with you to fold your laundry or drive to work or your little,
getting your steps in.
Yeah, or toning out the kids, whatever you're doing. We're here to support you, and we're here to tell you that you're doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, you're kicking ass. Don't let those little shits make you think anything different.
No, yeah, they can smell fear. Don't worry. They can smell all of our weak points, and they will call them out, or at least mine do.
Yes. Stay strong, mamas or dadas, whoever's listening.
Yeah.
Toodaloo.
All right. Bye.
Another episode down. Thank you all so much for listening. If you loved today's episode, I would be so appreciative if you would leave a rating and review. I cannot begin to tell you how much those mean to me, but also how much they help me get in front of more eyes and more ears. As always, be sure to check back every Tuesday and Friday for a new episode, whether it's an episode with me and my husband, me and Katie, or just another incredible, amazing guests. Stay tuned for more honest, real, raw chit chat. And hey, do me a favor before you go. Remind yourself how amazing you are, how enough you are, how special you are. And boy, oh boy, I sure am glad to have you here. Thanks, friend.